Welcome to episode 12 of the Sweet Nature Cruise Cast. Hi, I'm Linz, as always I'm joined by Marky.
Hello.
Hello, and today we're talking what went wrong with some princess and that she's had to have so many changes. But first, a little mood music. Wow.
Well,
Wow.
you said mood music, so I went with mood music.
Wow.
Obviously, that's not a keeper. It's not a permanent one, but
it sets a tone.
It does.
Sets a tone.
It does. Now, yeah, obviously, you've already said in the intro, we're going to be talking about what went wrong with some princess.
Well, this implies that she went through a portal
into another universe.
into another dimension.
No, just to be clear, at the time of recording, some princess has not gone through another portal into another dimension.
A portal or a portal?
Well, either of those things. It's still sailing the seas. And I think we should start off, because if anyone has watched any of our Sun Princess videos...
Sorry, I can't go with that music. Wow.
I know.
Sorry.
It's like, no, just if anyone's watched any of our Sun Princess videos, they'll know that we came off that ship very positive. We did love Sun Princess, and that hasn't changed. We still think it's a fantastic ship, and we would go on it again tomorrow. But that doesn't mean it hasn't had its problems. Both before we went on, after we went on,
Yeah.
and this week.
Yeah.
So it's one of these things that just keeps on going, and it's probably the most... Sun Princess has probably been in more of our news stories than any other cruise line, let alone ship.
No, only, yeah. Okay.
So she's appeared quite regular.
Okay.
So anyway, we're going to talk today all about sort of everything that we think went wrong, what our impressions were,
Okay.
and everything from there.
Right.
But we're going to start with what prompted this, which was the news this week, which was Park 19,
Yes.
which is their new family area.
Yes, yeah.
Well, it wasn't just kids, right? It were designed to
It's
attract
like-
families.
Yeah.
They had places for the parents to relax on there while the kids went on the high ropes, or the parents.
Yes.
And it had the new roller glider,
Yeah.
their little roller coaster.
Yeah.
All of these were first for Princess.
Yes. And last.
Well, maybe. And when we went on it, it was all finished. It was built because we saw them on the rope courses. We saw them testing it.
We saw the
We saw the roller glider and all the harnesses.
all the outfits. Yeah.
Everything was there. We saw the climbing wall,
Yeah.
the lookout station at the top, where you get to at the top of the climbing wall on deck
Yes,
20, and that's
yeah.
the only way to get to that. And the splash zone. So it was all there, along with the running track and everything else. However, this week, for those that have not yet heard, Princess have said the rope course, the climbing,
Yeah.
the lookout, and the roller glider
Yeah.
are never going to open.
They're never going to open and they're going to be removed.
They're going to be removed. They haven't said when,
No.
but what they have said categorically is they will never open. What they said is they couldn't take delivery. Now, that's not the same as Amazon or another company arriving at your door and you not being able to grab the parcel off them.
No.
This was all installed before we went on. They'd not managed to get the safety tests and the insurance side of things signed off because of it being late out of
Oh, yeah.
port initially, and we'll come back to that in a minute as to how much this had a knock on.
Yeah.
But it was all built. So it wasn't like it still had to be finished and constructed. It was there. If you go on Sun Princess this week, straight after listening to this,
You can look
would
at it.
have a fantastic time. You can have a great time, and the cocktails are
Yeah.
lovely. But you'll be able to see it. It's still going to be there, but you'll never be able to use it. And they haven't give any reason at the time of recording,
Apart from not.
unable to accept delivery of it.
Yeah.
Now, whether that is that there were challenges in terms of how it was built, maybe there's safety issues, maybe it didn't pass the inspections, but you have to bear in mind that Princess is part of the larger Carnival group,
And they've got them on.
and they've got them on other ships, including more advanced ones, more up and downy roller coasters as opposed to what that
A
was.
more advanced uppy downy one.
Yeah, that's an official brand. And it's really interesting in terms of how that came out. And I have to say, I wasn't expecting it.
No.
When that came out this week, I was just like, whoa. Because I can't recall, and tell me if you can, anything remotely similar to compare it to on any other cruise line where, this isn't just one thing that decided to change at a refit. The ship only came out 5 months ago.
I'm thinking, no, I can't think, no.
And there's just nothing there, is there?
No.
It's a very, very strange situation. What's your thinking behind it? What do you actually... Because ultimately we are completely speculating.
I'm not speculating. I'm not speculating at all. Thanks for the nudge.
You're welcome.
I'm not speculating. What I think happened, and I'm drinking wine.
Well, this gives me a chance to rest my mouth and have a drink.
Okay. What I think happened is they obviously had a meeting and said, we're losing out on a core demographic.
The family demographic.
Family demographic. And we need something to attract families because we're not seen as family friendly in the modern sense, like Carnival.
It is, and to be fair, families do go on Princess.
They do, but they don't have the bells and whistles.
No.
We need bells and whistles. And we're getting this super new ship, and she's got a bells and whistles place that we can put
some bells and whistles,
some things, some activities for children and people who like that type of thing.
Yeah.
On. Princess has been going a long time.
It has. And
I'm wondering if it had a bit of a midlife crisis. Like, I want to attract a younger
a younger model.
A younger sort of
demographic
to enjoy me. And and it's, for some reason they've not been able to put the parts together because, for example, the what's it called? Sky glider.
Roller glider.
I like my name better. Would sun glider, you see, and star glider, was nudging the sanctuary. Now, you don't want a ride of that type nudging the relaxation zone.
No, and we'll come back to the sanctuary in a second because that's another major change.
Yes.
Yeah, when it went through back around the back before it came back to the start of the roller glider, it went over the edge of the sanctuary. Now, it wasn't like that were a particular roller coaster bit where I would expecting people to be screaming over it. But you would hear it and you would see it.
You would see it. And also, I wonder if they've run the numbers. I wonder if they've looked at the numbers and gone, we've had all these bookings and the number of families has not increased.
But I completely agree that meetings happened.
There was a meeting.
I suspect there was probably more than one. There may have even been two meetings. But if this had been before construction and they'd announced it, but then when it came out, I didn't have it on.
Yeah,
I'd get that more. But this was built. Surely, if you've actually done that, and it isn't a overall safety issue on it, and I can't believe that all three things had a safety issue.
No, that would be weird.
I don't believe that. Then surely you just leave them on there at that point. You've already paid for it. Leave them on. When it goes for its first refit in a couple of years' time, strip them out, change it. But I'm sure there's more to it.
There's more to it. I mean, the proof, there will be some interesting... If somebody comes out of this and not, management changes or, I'm leaving Princess. I'd like to thank everyone for all my time there. I'm going on to bigger, brighter things. I wonder if that's going to happen. That's always very telling when there's a senior management change or announcing a new position.
Yeah. Which hasn't been at time of recording.
No, but that can also give
you a bit of a clue.
Yeah. And again, I wonder when they've run the numbers, if you're on Sun Princess or you've been on Sun Princess, we're just getting into the main summer holidays now for Europe.
Yeah. And a lot of families going on it now for the first time.
Are they though?
Well, you would assume so.
Are they though?
Well, I don't know, but I would assume there are.
Comments, just tell us. Did you see any families?
If you've been on Some Princess over the summer since we recorded this, were there many families on there? What did you see? I would assume that there is, because even forgetting about all the attractions that they've put on it. 1, it's a new ship.
Mm-hmm.
2, it's in a sunny area. And 3, it's some holidays. They all get booked up. They're all busy no matter what the ships are.
They do.
Yeah, and it is a one that's trying to attract families. So I would expect that people.
But trying and doing is 2 different things.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, I honestly don't imagine that's the reason why they've suddenly said it's not going to happen.
Well,
because if anything, you just open it up for that summer and then decide to shut it down after the season.
What is going on?
So, but this is the latest thing.
Some Prince.
I know, and it's probably just worth rewinding a little bit on it.
I'll let you do that, and I'll drink.
So, Some Princess had a little bit of, I think that's fair to say, a little bit of a turbulent launch.
Mm-hmm.
In that its original maiden was cancelled just 2 weeks before it was due to sail. It was in dock in Italy, getting everything ready, and they said we just need a little bit longer. So unfortunately, the maiden's now not happening.
Mm-hmm.
So the second cruise then became the maiden,
which was the one we were booked on.
Which we were like, oh, interesting. We're now on a maiden. We hadn't planned on. 3 days before that was due to go, we got told that's been cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
So that was even closer than the other one.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't ready. So then the third sailing became the maiden.
Yes.
When people got on, the entertainment wasn't ready. And to be clear, I've heard people say there's no entertainment. There's a lot of entertainment on board. We covered it in the review. There wasn't any of the big production shows that they'd advertised in the Dome or in the theatre.
No.
But there were lots of other stuff. It wasn't that we were bored when we were on there. It just wasn't all there. Spellbound, the new Magic Castle experience, wasn't open.
For the meal?
Well, it wasn't open for everyone. We got to go in it because we were on there. Loved by Brito.
No.
The fancy restaurant, specialty dining, wasn't open.
No.
And there were numerous things, like the splash pad on Part 19 wasn't open. We saw them working on it.
We heard them working on things.
All of Part 19 wasn't open.
No.
The Dome during the day was, generally speaking, when we were in port, closed because they were working on it.
Yeah.
And that we were on the second sailing at that point. So, but we could see the progress that we made just in the 5 days that we were on, from when we sort of got on to that 5 days where stuff were happening. We could see them rehearsing the shows.
Yep.
The Broadway shows have now opened.
Yep.
Or the Broadway style shows. Mm-hmm. They have opened. Loved by Brito opened, but only a couple of weeks ago.
I know, we've not really seen anything.
I've not seen any reviews of it online or anything yet.
Maybe we should search them. I know we need to
have a quick look on YouTube afterwards to see if there's anything on there.
I haven't done that.
It's definitely not popped up on our feed from anyone.
Oh, it hasn't. That's true.
But a lot of the people that we watch had already been on it. So again, you'll be waiting for.
I'm waiting for Rich and Helen to visit with us.
They're going on it imminently.
They should be on it if they're not on it already.
I seem to recall them coming on it in July.
Yeah, so we should get there.
Imminent, they might be on it now.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, Rich and Helen, if you're on it now.
Listen.
But it'll be interesting to see what people are seeing on that now, because one of the other challenges that they had. So you've got all those bits at the start, of which there's lots of logistic things in there. There can be supply chain. We were told the reason that Loved by Brito wasn't ready to open, because we saw it. The restaurant was ready because the artwork was being shipped over.
Yeah, and it wasn't there.
So they were waiting for that to arrive, which is fair enough. It's a one all around love and art, and if that's not there, you can't really open it.
No.
But that was a problem. Then the next thing that we heard was that both Dario, who has lent his name and brand to the Butcher's Cut by Dario
license,
specialty dining,
yes,
and the Catch by Rudy restaurants, Dario in particular had been very outspoken that he wasn't happy with where the restaurant was. You talked about it when we were on board.
I talked about it as I actually, on our first impressions of being on the ship, I walked up to it and I was like, is it me, or does this, should a speciality not be an offshoot of the buffet? It should have its own dedicated restaurant.
And we were willing to give it a try, and we went into it. And to be fair, when we went in, it didn't feel like an offshoot of the galley buffet area eatery. It didn't feel like an offshoot of that, because there is a passageway between it. And we've been in on other cruise lines, I'm thinking QM2 and P&O in particular, where they turned part of the buffet area into specialty dining.
But it didn't feel very intimate.
But it didn't feel like I imagined it were going to do, in particular for the Dario's one, which is around that big family table, sitting, lots of noise and stuff. People were spread out a little bit. I get why Dario wouldn't be as happy, and apparently Chef Rudy also wasn't happy where his restaurant was, which was the other side of that area.
Yeah. It just felt very...
It didn't feel like a $45 a person extra specialty area.
And when you arrived, it felt like a bit like a service station restaurant. It had like a...
Right.
It didn't feel like it was...
Didn't feel as much of a treat
premium.
Or an experience.
It didn't feel premium.
And clearly, you weren't the only one to think that.
No.
And they've agreed to change where those restaurants are. Again, they're not waiting until the refit, which, well done. If you can do it on the fly, but you have Dario's moving to where Crown Grill was. Chef Rudy's was moving to where the Reserve Collection restaurant was, I think. I'm trying to remember back from this. Crown Grill, I think, was moving to where the American restaurant was. Again, I might have all this completely wrong, so apologies if I have. But basically, loads of change.
Yeah.
After it had just come out. And this was, 2 months ago when they announced that? Maybe a month ago?
Yeah, I didn't feel
so. That's within the first 3 to 4 months of it going. And it just seems that on a very regular basis, there's some major change happening to it. Now, you touched on the sanctuary earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We went in the sanctuary.
Yes.
Went in there for a day. We saw the prices. We knew what were happening there. And like Sanctuary on other Princess ships, you can pay to go in there, and you can pay to go in there for a day. In some occasions, half a day, or you can buy a full cruise pass. That's generally how it works on Princess cruises that have a sanctuary. And that's how they told us it was going to work on this one. Then about 6-7 weeks after we got off it, they announced that there was now going to be a sanctuary collection of suites, including mini suites, which is like the Reserve Collection they've got on other ones. And those ones were going to have access to the sanctuary as part of it. So the suite people, as well as those in the sanctuary collection, they would have exclusive access to it.
Yeah.
And by exclusive, no one else can go in there.
No.
It essentially became a ship within a ship. And we did have people ask us, was it a ship within a ship experience? When we were on there, we're like, oh no, it's just sanctuary. And then it just rapidly became one.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed such a major change.
Yeah.
Again, when the ship's only been out a few months, that, was this something that Princess had talked about before and maybe didn't have the confidence to do just prior to launch? Or the feedback was that, it should be more like the Reserve Collection and other people have access to it, whether that came from the passengers or the crew or other people. It'd be really interesting to know. As usual, not just with Princess, with any cruise line and with any business, you often don't get deep insight into the reasoning behind it.
No.
And I suspect we probably never will.
No.
So it'll remain speculation as to why they did that. But I am kind of with you a little bit that if you're creating that exclusive area, do you really want a roller coaster running over the top of it?
No, you don't.
Yeah, and was that part of the thinking that the people who are staying in the sanctuary collection or the suites are going to be, generally speaking, pay more money than everyone else, and you want those people to come back time and time again and have a great experience. And if they're potentially not going to be happy at that going over, was that part of that decision making? Again, I genuinely don't believe we'll ever find out. So it'll just be conversations like this where we try and speculate it. But it just seemed such a strange decision. Now, moving away from that and looking forward, what do you think they're going to do with the Part 19 area? Because it's still a big space. They've said the jogging track will remain, and the splash zone, even though the splash zone's tiny.
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to do with that space?
Sanctuary.
What, extend it?
No, new sanctuary. Sanctuary, light. Sanctuary.
In what way?
Sanctuary for people.
Well, it's already got a sanctuary.
No, it hasn't. It's got a reserved sanctuary place for suites and reserve class.
So you think they'll make it a new paid-for
Adult
relaxation area
relaxation area.
with a running track around it?
That said they keep it.
They've said they're keeping the running track at the moment. In the press release last week, it said the running track will stay. I can't imagine that you
Adults
have
only
retreat.
treaty like coconuts and loungers.
Well,
and
you see, one thing that I can see happening, and we said this on our first impressions tour, is that it doesn't have a bar up there.
no bar.
So it has some sort of top deck cocktail bar.
And adults only pool.
And what about that lookout area on deck 20? We never got to go up that because it was closed off. Do you think they'll just never open that?
No, it'll be just a viewing thing with some loungers. You probably.
Well, the idea where you climb to get to it.
Well, I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, let us know in the comments what you think
cocktails.
that treehouse for cocktails. That'd be fantastic.
I like that thing.
You have to climb the treehouse to get your cocktails.
I like it.
I'd be up for that. Burn off a few of those cocktail
And then you
calories
slide down.
down that slide.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they haven't said the slide's going.
There you go.
Cocktail slide. You heard it here first. Let us know in the comments what you think that they're going to do with the Part 19 area. What do you think it means for Star Princess?
Well, none of those things will be introduced.
Now, if it was just a logistics fitting safety thing, could they get it right on Star Princess?
I don't think they want to bother.
Because that's still a year away.
No.
Or do you think they're just going to completely bin the idea of that sort of family attraction area?
Pickleball.
There'll be more paddleball and pickleball areas.
That kind of thing, yeah.
It'll be interesting. I am genuinely interested to see what it means for Star Princess.
Yes.
Because I suspect that we'll see the change to that perhaps even sooner than we see it off of there. Because whilst they've said it's going to get removed and decommissioned from it, removing that roller coaster is not something that you appear to be able to do with a set of step ladders.
No.
Yeah, they've said it'll get done before it goes in for a refresh, but I still don't imagine that it happens quickly.
No.
So I think we'll see what it'll actually end up looking like on Star before we see it on there, because it's only a year away, isn't it, till we get Star. Well, just over a year. Anyway, let's go on to some news stories.
Okay.
We're going to follow on with that ominous theme of a bit of a cruise nightmare from somewhere we've just been to.
Okay.
In Ketchikan.
Okay.
So a larger family, I think there were 7 or 8 of them, had gone to see the Ketchikan Lumberjack Show, which I don't even remember there being a Ketchikan Lumberjack Show, but apparently there was. And it was a short bus journey away.
I thought that's the huge. Is that not the Ketchikan? The Lumberjacks?
No, I thought it were Juno was all.
No, Lumberjacks. So the Ketchikan Lumberjacks are in the
Okay.
Ketchikan.
So, in which case it seems even weirder. This family went to see the Lumberjack Show. They went to get on the bus to go back.
Yeah.
It was a third-party excursion. When they went to get on the bus...
Bus to get back?
That's
just over the road.
That's what I said. It seems a bit strange. So maybe there's a different thing. They went to get on the bus to get back, and apparently and this is from the family who've said this.
Yeah.
The bus had not been checking people's tickets; they'd just done a head count.
Yeah.
And even though this family had a ticket for that bus to go back, they said, "Sorry, the bus is full. You'll have to wait for the next one." Which, okay, they started trying to get back, not a problem. Apart from the next bus never came.
Oh my God.
So they rang the port authority,
Yeah.
which were all given that emergency number,
Yeah.
and the port authority sent a van to collect them to take them back to the ship.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as they got back to the ship, they saw the NCL pulling out of port. It had gone.
Oh my goodness.
So that in itself already not good. But we've heard of people missing cruise ships before. We've seen people nearly miss them. The pier runner thing has become a bit of a thing, and we're coming on to that in the next story. But there was something far worse for this one. So all their passports were on board, apart from one person who had the passport. The medication was all on board. And then the next morning, NCL charged them $9,000.
For what?
$971 per US dollars per passenger for fees incurred from violating the US Customs and Border Protection Policy, citing the Passenger Vessel Services Act. So not only did they miss the ship, not only did the medication and passports on there, they then got charged $9,000 for it.
That's awful.
With that in mind, would that make you reconsider a third-party cruise excursion?
I'd have got an Uber.
Well, yeah, but would you still be happy to take a third-party?
We
excursion?
do third-party stuff.
We do third-party ones, we do cruise ones, because sometimes the ones you want the cruise ain't offering, or it's full.
That's a nightmare.
I know.
I don't like that.
But let's move on to
Oh, God, what
story number 2.
downer episode this is.
It's not a downer, we're just talking about... So it gets a bit brighter as we're going along. So this one, we're coming on from the pier runners, as they've been now known. And
because they run on the pier.
Because they run on the pier to try and get off the ship.
Workshop it. They didn't have to go on a retreat to come up with that name.
Maybe they did. But I found this a really bizarre story. So this involves Carnival Cruise Line. And the Carnival had been requested to take a look at stopping people cheering or jeering the cruise runners. And we've seen these plenty of times on YouTube. There are lots of videos on social media of people doing it. And people said that, whilst for others it's entertaining, it's unkind, it's cruel, people are stressed at that point, and especially if you see them miss it, bearing in mind that previous story, the impact it could have. And so it had been suggested at Carnival Cruise Line that they should stop people doing it. One, I'm not entirely sure how they would do that, because it's just kind of human behaviour. But Carnival Cruise Line has said they're not going to try and stop that behaviour. And I think mainly because of what I just said, they don't know how they would do it, and I don't. But do you think that's something that a cruise line should be trying to intervene in? Or is it just something as humans we should be better at and more apathetic? Is apathetic the right word? Empathic to people who are...
Empathetic. I don't know. I get panicky if I think that we're going to be half an hour before. So there's that. Would I cheer? I'd cheer if they got on.
If they'd made it, if they'd sprinted it down.
I wouldn't laugh if they didn't, because that's the universe
just cruel, isn't
is
it?
on.
Yeah, karma's going to come back and kick you for that one.
I'm not happy about that. This is I'm not.
Well, the last one is a more positive.
Nice story.
I'm going to give you a nice story. Scenic Cruises.
Well, okay.
Who do river cruises and some ocean cruises.
Yeah.
I think they're better known for the river cruises.
Yes.
But they have some nice looking one. Have decided to do a first ever summer Black Friday sale.
Oh, nice.
Now, we've seen lots of, in particular, things like the shopping channels do.
Yeah.
Black Friday
in July,
June, in April, in May, in March, and it's become a bit of a thing. But one of the questions that we get asked quite a lot is, when's the best time to book a cruise? When's the main sales point? Which historically we've said around the Black Friday time in November, or start of the wave season in January.
Get all the perks.
When the perks tend to come on. Or when the cruises first go on sale they're generally the type
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you're going to get the best things.
Yeah.
But these ones have kind of bucked the trend a little bit and gone, we're going to have a summer sale.
Yeah.
The genuine savings, so I want an adult one when I have a look on that. And obviously this type of saving is at the top end of it, but of up to $2,000 per person.
A saving.
Saving.
Okay.
Because they're not taking anything else away.
Okay.
It's just, this is what the price was.
All right.
Here's $2,000 off it.
Oof.
But as you can imagine, that's on the fancier suites.
Yeah.
For most people, it was substantial less, but it was still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to see more during the summer sales? Because generally speaking, the reason that they do it in sort of November around Black Friday is people are sort of kind of geared up to spending money.
In that time with disposable income.
And at Christmas, straight after it's the New Year, it's generally a bit cold depending where you live. But
when were these cruises for? Were they late availability or could you book them?
No, they were for booking up to, I think, 2026.
She says to me the pricing was wrong to start with.
Would you like to see other cruise lines doing stuff in the summer? Or do you think that's just, do you think people are already looking at the holidays at that point and they're already getting booked? They're not looking to spend additional money when they're just about to go away?
That's a very good point. I think... Also, what was the deposits?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, because sometimes they'd be asking to put 15% down.
Yeah, and I honestly don't know. I should have researched that.
It's all right.
I feel that I've let you and the listeners and the watchers down. I will check and I will put it in the descriptions.
Okay, because
so people can see.
That says to me then, cash grab. So, yeah, it's nice that they're doing it. I'd like to know that it's genuine, that, you know, they've come up with not just a pricing strategy.
Yeah.
And that they've over-egged it, and therefore they need to regroup.
Yeah.
Okay.
But doing it at a different time to everyone else, when everyone else is doing it around sort of that Black Friday and January time,
I would say do your
get a bit bogged
research. Were they $2,000 more expensive?
Absolutely, definitely do your research. Make sure it works. You know, we've not been on Scenic, we're not affiliated with Scenic, we're not going on Scenic anytime soon. It just caught me as, someone's doing a sale at a different time, as opposed to an offer.
They can have a point for that.
Because you get offers from the cruise lines all the time,
do.
But an actual proper sale seemed a little bit unusual at that time.
Okay.
Well, that brings us to the end of this slightly different podcast. Next time we'll be back to a more perky topic.
I hope so.
We will.
Oh, that was nice. I needed that. Cheers, darling.
Cheers,
Thanks
Lindsay.
for listening, and have a lovely day.